Welcome to the I-League weekly roundup show. We have a lot of drama happening in the league. We have crossed the halfway mark of the league and have stepped into the second half. And to talk with you and discuss with you further about the tournament and what's going on, we have Alvito D'Cunha with us, the former Indian footballer who is a very popular face in Indian football. Welcome.
Thank you, Vaswar. We're once again back to discuss about the I-League. As you rightly said, the league is getting interesting day by day. But then there are a lot of teams who are trying to, be in the top race. Like Namdari, they're playing outstanding football. They managed to get a win in the last match. Churchill losing points to Bengaluru, who was struggling. But then that was a crucial point, I guess, for Bengaluru. And then again, Rajasthan, the way they are playing, very impressive.
Very impressive. But before getting to the teams and the matches, something we have noticed after the halfway of the league is that the top scorers, the Golden Boot race is getting heated up. And on top right now is Shillong Lejong's Douglas Starden with 11 goals, followed by Wade Like. David Castaneda is there as well. Kletson de Gaulle is there. And in number 5, we have Lalvin Zuala of Aizawl with 7 goals. So I have a question before we discuss about the goal scoring and all. The question is very big at the moment in Indian football. Do we lack proper Indian strikers? Where are the next Baichung Bhutias and Sunil Chhetris? And also, is it again the same story being dominated by foreign players?
Yes, of course. I think this has been happening not just this season, but this has been happening for the last so many seasons. In fact, every time we see that Sunil Chhetri might retire from Indian football, but then who's next in Sunil Chhetri? This is what we keep talking to a lot of colleagues, but then we don't have the answer because we haven't found the replacement for Sunil Chhetri as yet. And the same thing is happening in Indian Super League or in I-League. And whichever tournaments you see the foreign players they're playing, you will always see them amongst one of the highest goal scorers tally. But then Lalvin Zuala is one of the 5 players, the top scorers who has scored 7 goals. The reason could be that they're playing with all Indian players. And when you have all the Indian players, the chances for the Indian players are more to play in the first team. So that's the reason that, but then this is what the other clubs also needs to do. You need to give those opportunities to the Indian strikers. Maybe start with the one foreigner and one Indian striker, but most of the team in I-League, especially what I see is they're playing with 2 upright foreign players. So that is what I think allows less chance for the Indian players to play as a strikers. But then it all depends on the coach's strategy.
Is it just the strategy, getting the chance? Do we have the quality players, or is it the clubs they choose, or what is actually the issue?
Of course, I think there is quality in the players. If you see, like, Edmund Raldindika or Vidyasagar, they were the ones who were one of the bright future, as we call them. I could see a lot of potential in them when they were playing with Bengaluru FC, or Vidyasagar, one of the youngsters who got promoted from our youth development in East Bengal club. So I think the way he progressed, I felt he would be one of the good replacement for Sunil Chhetri or for any other Indian strikers. But then the problem in them is that they make the wrong choices at times, and this is what is very important, the decision making, as we call it. I can just give a small example about my football career. There was a choice which I had to make between Salgaonkars and Dempos, and I preferred to play for Salgaonkars when I had a very good offer. In fact, the money was even more for Dempos, but I chose to play for Salgaonkars. And in that same year, I happened to be one of the key strikers for Salgaonkar, winning the I-League, and Dempo got relegated. So I think the choice is what is very important. And from there on, my progress was such that I think that nobody could stop me. Everybody felt that I've made my place in the team. Me and Bruno were in the starting lineup. Jude Odega was one of the foreign recruits, but then the way me and Bruno were combining, I made him sit on the bench. And this is what the Indian players needs to work on. If they feel that the foreign players are going to definitely be the ones who are going to start the match, but no, you have the potential, prove to the coach, and where can you do that? In the training sessions. And this is what I think the players are lacking in.
That is a very nice point made, and of course that is why we have the legend with us, Alvito D'Cunha, right now. For example, you talked about Vidyasagar. He went to the Indian Super League, went to Kerala Blasters and Punjab and didn't get the game time, and then right now he's struggling to score. So when you're on the bench for a long time, it of course impacts your performance.
Yeah, of course. See, a player never loves to sit on the bench for a long time, and I think it's more than 2 years that Vidyasagar hardly gets a time in the playing 11, and that is what, the frustration, the form drops in, and this is what exactly he's facing. He had started his career as a striker. In some of the matches when he was playing for Kerala Blasters, I saw him operating from the flanks, which most of the Indian players, they do that. I mean, it's called as the inverted position, the number 7 or the number 11. So it's not bad to do that, because we see Liston or Manveer, who were the strikers, they have changed their positions to the wing sides, so that's not bad. But then somehow even on the flanks he's struggling with his form, and the only reason could be he might have taken it like nobody can take Vidyasagar's place. I came from an ISL side, so I-League for me should have been an easy task. But then that's not the way how they think. They need to push themselves in the training, and I'm sure if they try to impress the coach, definitely he can still be one of the best players in the league.
It is not easy in the league. Johnny Kauko had suffered. Big names like Rolly Bonifacia have suffered. So it's not that easy, not a cakewalk in the league. But what is happening in the league right now, Alvito? Namdhari on top, Churchill were on top, but they slipped against Sporting Club Bengaluru, who are right at the bottom of the table.
See, this is what we have been talking about from the day one. This is why this league is very interesting. The I-League, as we all say, it's one of the toughest leagues in India. ISL, of course, you can sometimes predict with the team the way they have managed to build up the team. But in I-League, it's so difficult to predict which team is going to win. If you look at the ISL this season, Mohun Bagan, the way they build up the team, they're getting in Apuya with a huge transfer market paying for Mumbai City, and then getting in some good foreign players like McLaren, one of the best players who played in Australian League, 5-time highest goal scorer. So you could easily, calculate the situation, who could be one of the contenders. And that's how the things are going on in the Indian Super League. But if you talk about the I-League, maybe the way the teams have started like Dempos or Churchill and Interkashi, but then suddenly look the way Namdhari is picking up the form. Absolutely brilliant. 9 matches, they are unbeaten out of 12 games, halfway stage gone, and they are looking very, very dangerous. And the most important thing about this team is they're trying to manage to keep the clean sheet. And as we all say, strikers makes you win the matches, but defense makes you win the tournament. And this is what exactly they have been doing. And apart from them, I think another team to watch out for is Rajasthan United. They're playing superb football.
I was just about to come to that point. Rajasthan United, they were at the bottom half in the starting few matches. Now they've climbed up in a very good position in the league table, from where they can in the next 1 or 2 match weeks climb to the top as well. They have included the likes of Samuel Lingdo and Navin Gurung, and the defense looks very strong at the moment.
Quite surprising, like why Samuel Lingdo or Navin Gurung were not in the squad with any of the sides in the I-League. They have got the potential which can be one of the key players for any of the sides, but quite surprising, maybe associated with their jobs, could not get the leave before, or maybe the office was not releasing the players. That could only be the reason. But I've seen Navin Gurung from close. I've seen Samuel Lingdo for years now. But very surprising that they were not the part, and this is what maybe is making this team much stronger. Having this Indian players maybe allows them to have more players, the foreign players playing upright. Like Navin Gurung, as we know, he can play in 2 positions, that is the side backs and the stopper backs, and this is what maybe he strengthened the team. And certainly this team is looking quite sharp. The goalkeeper or the defense is looking quite strong. They're playing as one team, and this is what I've said before. Sometimes the break helps the team to come back stronger, and this is what exactly happened with Rajasthan. Look, once the break was over after the Christmas break, they are the teams like Namdhari and Rajasthan, they're playing superb football.
Indeed, we'll find out what Rajasthan do in the upcoming week. But what's interesting and what we like is revenges and comebacks in football. And Interkashi have done somewhat like that. Against Gokulam Kerala, they lost 6-2 in the reverse fixture and now won 3-2 at home.
That was a superb comeback from Interkashi. After losing by 6 goals to 2, and then beating them few days back in the reverse fixtures by 3 goals to 2. I think that was superb from Interkashi, one of the contenders, having one of the best coaches, Antonio Habas, key players like Lalrindika, Narayan Das, Arindam Bhattacharya, Johnny Kauko, as you mentioned. So, this is what football is all about. This is what I-League is all about. You cannot really predict what could go and where the things are going to go. The way they upset them at Gokulam's home, maybe the weather conditions were not suiting them, because in Calcutta it was a bit chill weather, and in Gokulam it was quite hot. So now maybe coming back here, they picked up the form, worked on the weaknesses of the Gokulam team, where they are strong, where they are weak, and try to push them and punish them in that situations, and that's how they managed to get the win. And this is what a quality coach like Antonio Habas he brings to the team. An absolutely brilliant performance by them.
Well, so much happening, but I'll get to just two more questions. One is about the northeastern sides, Aizawl FC and Shillong Lejong. Aizawl struggling a bit at the moment, and Shillong Lejong, even though they had a chance to move to the top four, they're slipping down, but are the highest scoring team of the tournament at the moment, 27 goals.
Yeah, so I think when you talk about a team like Shillong Lejong and the highest scoring team, so that means they've scored the maximum number of goals. So why are they still struggling to get into the top six? The only reason could be the defense and the midfield are not been combining too good. They need to work on that department. Maybe it might be too late because there's not too many days of gap to work within the team. But I think a team that scores more number of goals and suddenly they still manage to come with a draw or on a losing side, so that means they're struggling at the back. So they need to work on that as quickly as possible. The foreign players and the Indian players, they need to combine, and suddenly if they can get those results in a positive way, could be a good one for them. And talking about Aizawl, yes, they still have the one Indian striker, Raldan who scored 7 goals, but then somehow they have been associated in a lot of games wherein the scoreline have been like 4-3 or 4-all or 3-all games wherein they've scored a lot of goals, but then again they are also one team who's struggling at the back, and this is where the biggest problem for these two teams are.
But everything is unpredictable. One strange thing about Shillong Lejong is that the bottom team, the defense and the keeper have looked strong, but still they have conceded goals. But the last point I will come to is that just a 4-point difference between the team at 6th and the team at 1st in the league table.
Anything is possible in this league. A team that is on the 6th position can suddenly after 2 matches can go to the top position, and this is why we say this league is one of the best leagues. This league is very unpredictable. Who's going to win the league? It's difficult to know. Only the end table is going to tell us who will win the league. But then I-League so far has been very interesting.
Well, thank you, Alvito. We are absolutely enjoying the league at the moment. I hope you all are enjoying as well. And a lot to unfurl and come your way in the next match week. Keep watching the I-League on SSEN.